Today's show is about Infiniti, Nissan's luxury brand. They've built some great cars, but like Rodney Dangerfield, they don't get no respect. Well, Nissan is determined to change all that with an entirely new lineup. They even have Formula One champion Sebastian Vettel to help them. We'll ask him about that. But first, up to Muskoka for the Q50. It's all ahead on car business. This is the Royal Mail ship Seguin on its way to the wharf on Lake Muskoka at Gravenhurst, Ontario. It's part of the Muskoka Steamship and Historical Society, which is a registered charity whose mission is to preserve and promote the traditions of the steamship and boat building and the resort era in Muskoka. The Muskoka Lakes Navigation Company was formed in 1866 to run the first Muskoka steamship. That's the larger vessel, the Winona. For nearly 100 years, the steamers sailed the Muskoka Lakes, taking people, goods, and mail to the resorts and cottages. Now the steamers are a great experience for tourists who want to experience Muskoka. Welcome to Muskoka, Cato. Isn't it glorious here? I mean, you live in that rainy, desolate British Columbia coast,
awful.
but this is Ontario.
Well, you know, being from British Columbia, I like to come out here and visit my tax dollars at work. It's good to see what's going on in this have-not province of Ontario,
well,
and, you know, it's good to see.
Ontario is a have-not province officially, but Muskoka is not a have-not region.
Well, you know, there's a few hockey-playing millionaires and maybe some steamship liner presidents out here.
This is the playground of the rich and famous, but we're not here to take you for a steamboat ride.
Oh, too bad.
We are here to drive a car.
Okay.
And this is the car. What do you call this? The Infiniti Q50.
Oh, yes, Q50, the replacement for the G37, and the start of a whole new world at Infiniti.
Well, this is about the same size as a BMW
3 Series.
3 Series.
Or Mercedes C-Class.
C-Class.
Audi.
A4.
There you go. That's the volume players in luxury cars.
But these Germans, they're 10 times as big as a brand.
The brands are, but Infiniti has this big plan that from 2013 to 2017, 18, they want to go from 170,000 to 500,000 in sales, and this is the car that will be the volume part of that. 40% of Infiniti sales between now and then are going to be this car.
High hopes. We better drive. The Q50 is the long-awaited replacement for Infiniti's very decent G37 sedan. But more than that, it's supposed to mark the start of a whole new design and engineering approach for Infiniti. So it features a new design with curves and creases. But just as important, the Q50 is loaded with new electronic technology to improve comfort, safety, and the driving experience. Well, Cato, if the object is to beat the Germans, I will say this is the most German-like Japanese premium car I can remember.
So what do the Germans sell? They sell ride and handling, performance, you know, that sort of hard-nosed Teutonic luxury, and that is exactly what Infiniti wants to do. So we've got a rear-wheel drive car. We've got a car with all kinds of adjustable steering, and it's a fully electronic steering. There's actually no physical connection between here and the steering rack. You've got really aggressive brakes. You've got firm handling that you can adjust to, in this car, 5 different ways. It's all of these things that come together to give you a car that does everything the Germans do, just a little bit better.
It's not better than the Germans. I mean, it's close to the Germans. The interior now doesn't look Japanese, it looks German. The handling is more German than it's been before. But what is really lacking is German prestige.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is better than the 3 Series, and we haven't really tested it long enough to come to that hard and fast conclusion. But what I will say is this, is that Infiniti is loaded up with all sorts of gadgets that I think a lot of luxury buyers want, and that will help to build the prestige. That and a huge investment in the brand building with the Formula One and improving their dealership so that the service experience is as glitzy as the car itself.
But that, Cato, is the problem. Infiniti's been selling glitz for almost 25 years, and now they've got to remake the brand all over again. They haven't had any traction. Why is it going to be different this time?
Different? The whole point is to be different. Look, all the top brass at Nissan, they've invested their own personal prestige in this. This is a very personal thing. The guy who's heading up everything around Infiniti is, I don't know, number 2, number 3 guy at Nissan. He's being touted as maybe the next CEO, the next Carlos Ghosn. He's put his whole reputation on the line. And you know the giant size of the egos in the car business. If this doesn't work, oh my gosh, egos will tumble.
Maybe you've noticed we're driving along the shore of Lake Rosso. Well, it's all hockey players and shady millionaires and lavish cottages around here now. But 100 years ago, the likes of Woodrow Wilson, the President of the United States, spent his summers here, arriving, of course, by steamboat. Now we're turning into Windermere House, which has been around for about 140 years and is one of Lake Rosso's longest ongoing landmark resorts. Well, Cato, in my humble opinion, this might be the best Infiniti ever, but my question is it enough to rebuild the brand?
I'll agree with you. Technically, it is the best Infiniti ever, and it's a good price. You know, it's a good value. But I love the old one because it did everything a 3 Series did for thousands less.
But this is supposed to have passion and seductiveness about it.
I look at this car as kind of like the girlfriend you dated for 3 years, and then you decided after a few breakups, you came back and you said she's the one because she's just better than all the rest. Maybe this car will be that girlfriend after 3 years.
Automotive Analysis and Marriage Counseling by Jeremy Cato.
All free.
Yes, whatever. But Infiniti is certainly keeping up with the technology race, with features like self-braking and even self-steering.
A lot of technology in this car, Tim. What are the ones that stand out? What are the ones that are going to make buyers buy this car and not a BMW 3 Series?
That's right. Direct adaptive steering is really the most innovative and one of the most exciting technologies on this car. It allows you to really adjust how the car...
But you're not really using the steering rack. It's electric motors doing it.
You're using the rack, but you're using there's an electrical connection now instead of a traditional mechanical connection.
And you have some device there that I can drive down the highway and it won't depart from the lanes.
Sure.
What is that?
Active lane management. It's really about just making the long road trip more comfortable, easier on the driver, less fatiguing to make the small inputs as you drive down the road.
Do buyers want all this choice?
I think they want a comfortable, confident driving car, and these technologies really come into making that a more engaging car to drive. Certainly, as Infiniti inspired performance, it's still a performance car, and then most of the technologies really are about improving that performance.
That's the key. A car you can be proud of. And that means prestige, panache, cachet, the things the Germans have. How long does it take Infiniti to get there?
Well, I think the new Q50 is really the symbol of where we're going with the Infiniti brand. So from quality, performance, interior touches, details, really sets the mark for where Infiniti is going to be going.
So in 5 years, will you be as prestigious as the Germans?
I think so.
In order to try to catch the Germans, Infiniti is expanding the lineup.
What sets yours car apart?
Well, I think there's a few things. One, the styling, very distinctive, distinctively Infiniti. Space, third row roominess, ease of getting in and out. When you're having those 7 passengers, it's a three-row passenger vehicle. That third row is easily accessible and very functional.
So this, of course, is the M35 Hybrid. Now, hybrids used to be like little grocery getters, economy cars, or maybe taxi cabs for Vancouver. But you're selling a hybrid with guts.
The Infiniti M was, the hybrid with uncompromised performance.
Is that the way to sell a hybrid? Shouldn't you be selling like fuel economy?
Well, the customer is looking for both. They're looking for the performance, the driving experience. At the same time, they're wanting to have the fuel economy, the environmental, helping the environmental section.
And here is the newest child. This is your little baby here. And you've got to do something with this car that, well, I don't know if you can do it. You've got to beat the BMW 3 Series. I mean, that's the winner in that segment. And what is this car going to do for you?
This is our newest baby.
Yeah.
This was just launched a month ago, just on sales. Very successful start. What is it going to do? It's going to be providing everything that customer is looking for. The performance, the absolutely gorgeous design, and then technology.
Well, after the break, we'll see if all this technology actually works. We'll ask Infiniti test driver Sebastian Vettel, the Formula One champion.